So good evening all of you. Actually, because of an error in the mic, okay, we were not able to conduct the lecture at the scheduled time. But right now, after 2 to 3 hours of what we can say the work on it, right now I'm able to get that noise reduced to zero. Okay, so I will just. Good evening all of you. Actually, because of an error. Okay, so as I have checked on my mobile, the sound is clear and there is no ringing sound is there, okay, which we have seen in the first 5 p.m. section. So coming back to our lecture series, today is actually an analysis part, okay, of the recently concluded UPSC Zoology mains paper. So actually I was planning to take paper 1 and paper 2 both at the same time, okay, but when you will look at the entire lectures, both of the two lectures, one lecture the one paper 1 2 and the second lecture on paper 2, and then you will know that how thorough and how extensive the analysis of this paper has been done. Okay, now in this analysis we are not only going to see the paper pattern, but at the same time we are also going to burst many myths which students have. Many times students also ask questions also. Today is also the time, or today is also the moment or the day when we will test that whether whatever the notes which I have provided you, the content is really in there or not. Okay, many times or many students asked me before buying my notes that whether the notes will be sufficient or not. Okay, so today you will get the answer of that also. Okay, today is also the day when those who have already purchased my notes or those who are already my students, they will come to know that whether the trust which they have put on me, okay, is it really true worth or not. Okay, at the end of the lecture or and at the end of this entire session, first session, you will get to know that yes, whatever the faith you are putting in me, whatever the faith you are putting in my notes, whether it is really worth or not. Okay, now with this, let's start with this today's section. Before those who don't know about me, okay, already actually we have crossed 8,000 subscriber members, but still I know I am not able to upload many lectures on YouTube, okay, because all of these work. See, today only you have seen I have uploaded one minute video. We have started one minute sessions on 5 p.m. on YouTube, on 6 p.m. on YouTube, but the problem came and it took almost 3 hours of my entire time, right? So that is the thing. Everything right from making notes, typing notes, drafting notes, drawing diagram, okay, understanding those notes, reading them, making these notes, okay, then drafting them in an A4 sheet for printing, then making their PowerPoints, okay, then arranging for this different camera, audio, everything has been done by me for now, okay, including printing. I have allotted one person, but that person has also left. So right now also everything has to be done by me, including the shipping. Whatever the shipments you are getting, whatever the packaging you are looking at, okay, all the packaging has been done by me only. Okay, so all the time is also going for that efforts also. But don't worry, only after this is will be only for the last 3 chapters. We have already completed almost 80% of the syllabus and the almost 9 chapters. So after that we can have more time, and from December actually I am starting the offline batches here. Obviously not of UPSC Zoology, because no one will come into the Maharashtra, that too in Parmani district, for UPSC Zoology as of now. Okay, abhi to koi nahi aayega, but actually I am starting for the NEET. So but that will be after December, okay, when you will start for the prelims. Then I will go for that this NEET part, right? Because as this year's 2023 mains is in this May, so you will have to start to prepare for the prelims right from the January, right? So from there I'm not going to get any batches on any lectures, because even if I launch, you will join them, and that may ultimately cost you your prelims. Okay, that I don't want. We want first you to secure prelims or qualify prelims, right? So with this, now let's start with this today's lecture. So this is this first question. First question A: structure of visual organs. You can also see how the entire slides has been these well structured. Let's see. So here you will see the question, here you will see the marks for that question, here see the sub point in the syllabus, here you will see from which chapter it has been taken, and here you will see the previous year questions related to that particular point. Okay, and into the next slide you will see that whether this point was really in there our notes or not. हमारे notes में था या नहीं, ये भी आपको समझ में आएगा. Okay, so let's see. So this was the question. First question, visual organs of cockroach. It was for 10 marks. Okay, so it was basically taken from the vision in arthropoda points. So the chapter is the invertebrate. Okay, and the previous year question related with these are like the insect vision. So this is where IFS is not given, so that means that question is from the CSE, right? So this is 1999 insect vision. It was asked in the for 20 marks in the CSE. Then these are the two questions, 2006 and 2010 for the Indian Forest Service. So here they have asked about to describe the structure and functioning of the compound eye in the insect. Okay, only for one time I will just look whether it is working on YouTube or not. Okay, so meanwhile if any problems are there, you can just put your queries in the comment box. Okay, although it is an informal section because I have not announced it prior, so maybe many of the students might not know. Okay, but you will already get the recordings of it, so you will watch that recording again. So this was the question for 20 marker in the 2006. In 2010 they have asked about the vision in the cockroach, almost the same question, right? And then it was for 8 marks. Here it is for the 10 marks. As it is in CSE, it will be for 10 marks, right? So we can know right now that the questions has already been asked, and even the same question has already been asked previously, somewhat same question, right? So now let's see whether the content related to that particular point was available in my notes or not. I have 190 pages note of invertebrate. Okay, in that, on here the page number is given 131. I have given this part, that is the vision in the cockroach specifically. But as this point is come under a broader point, that is the this vision in this arthropod or the insect, under that I have given explanation of some of the points. Like here it is given that whatever these the compound eye and ocelli are there, okay, or whatever these eyes are there, the ommatidia structures are there, okay, it is similar to the which is explained in the prawns eyes, right? So this is what I have already explained in the prawns eye, right? So you can draw this diagram and you can explain with this, right? So you can write whatever the part which was asked in the exam. Okay, there was also explanation was also there. So this was 131. So on page number 130 all of these diagram and other explanations are given. Okay, but there the other parts are the prawns vision is also explained. So you will have to take some part from that parts the prawns vision, and you will have to add here as an explanation. So the point was there in the notes. Okay, that is the thing. If the point is not given in the notes, okay, in my notes, okay, then also I will tell you also that also, right? So let's see. Next, see second question. First question, it is compulsory question. Obviously I have already considered that you know, most of you know this basic part, right? That the question number 1 and question number 5, each one have 5 questions of 10 marks and all of them are compulsory. From remaining, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This first question will have 5 compulsory question of 10 marks. Okay, then this fifth question will have 5 questions of 10 marks each, that was compulsory, and out of these you will have to solve 3, selecting at least one from any one of this section. Okay, so that is the pattern which we can read whatever the model the question, whatever the UPSC's question paper we have uploaded. Okay, one of our friend has already uploaded in the group. You can read that and you can understand about that. So the second question was, what is meant by symmetry? Okay, symmetry kya hai, and write about the different types of symmetry in the animals. It is a question of for 10 marks, right? The point has been taken, that is the symmetry, and the chapter is the invertebrate. Okay, now the related previous year questions are like, they have asked about various types of symmetry. Okay, with the suitable example, it has already been asked in 2007 for 20 marks. Then they have asked about the concise account of symmetry in non-chordates for 20 marks. Then they have asked specific symmetries in the IFS. Okay, that is bilateral symmetry for 10 marks. This is the bilateral symmetry versus radial symmetry for 8 marks. Then this is the only symmetry note on symmetry for 5 marks, that is for 1 page. Then define the body symmetry and give its types with the example, that is for the 8 marks in the 2019. So these were the different questions which were asked onto the on this particular point, that is the symmetry. Okay. Now whether the notes on it were actually there in my notes which I have given to you or not. See, actually whatever the first part of the invertebrates syllabus is there, in which all this radiata, bilateria, symmetry points are there. Okay. Actually these notes are not there in my note. I have told, because what I have thought at the time of invertebrate is that first of all we will complete all of these different examples which will come under this radiata, bilateria, okay, and different symmetries, okay, and then at the end I will give you a note on symmetry, okay. But actually that part has remained as such, okay. So I will have to give these notes which are specifically on symmetry only after the November month, okay. In the December, as I am giving whatever the remaining supplementary materials are there, I am going to give it in the November and December, right? So at that time I will give you a specific note, but that does not mean that you will not be able to write from these notes, okay, because whatever I am going to write in that part, it is already been given in the different these parts, okay. Here I have already given this symmetry in this cnidaria, okay. So here you will have to draw some of these diagram. Then everywhere you will see these points which are related with this symmetry. So if you have understood these parts, you can definitely write about the symmetry, the orthogonal symmetry, platyhelminth symmetry, torsion symmetries, what is the bilateral, what is the radial, what is the bilateral symmetry. Here there is no symmetry there, that is also one point is there, even if the symmetry is not there, right? So here the symmetry is in the case of echinodermata, porifera. So you can write even in this from these notes, okay. So it is not like that it was not there in that notes, okay. But only the thing is that it was dispersed. Now what I will do as a supplementary note, I will just collect all of this material which is there in these different sources at one point, and I will give you the notes. But still you can also do the same thing. You can also write the note or write the answer on the symmetry from this notes also, right? So this was the second question. Now let's move on to the next, that is the third question. They have asked about the structure and functions of the endocrine pancreas for 10 marks, taken from the pancreas, and the chapter was the physiology. So the related previous year questions are like the different structure of pancreas, okay, for 60 marks in 1999. In the CSE they have asked about the structure and functions of mammalian pancreas for 30 marks, same question. In 2012 in the IFS they have asked about the exocrine pancreas have staturia, fatty stool, so it is related with a disease, right? Then describe the metabolic consequence of insulin binding to its receptor. So this was somewhat not related with this, but basically these were the questions which are related with this pancreas, okay. So these were the previous year questions. Now let's see whether the content was there in, whether the content is there in my notes or not. So these are the two pages, page number 66 of the the physiology notes and page number 67 of the physiology notes are having the content on this pancreas, okay. So दो pages है, so you can surely, obviously UPSC के answer sheet, if you try to write these 2 pages in the UPSC answer sheet, it will become at least 3 to 4 pages, okay. But you are required to write only 2 pages, so you will have to eliminate many of the points which are over here, okay. See, here we are not discussing the model answer, okay, because discussing a model answer will take at least 2 to 3 hours. So that's why this is an analysis, right, not a model answer discussion. But you can write this part here, okay, already given in my notes, okay. So this is the moment when whatever this, whoever have subscribed to my courses or whoever are my students or whoever have purchased my these notes, they can get an assurance that yes, they are at the right place, okay. Next is that at the end you will also get to know that whether it is 100% the notes were there or whether some 1 to 5% are not there, okay. All these things you will get to know. So the next question is the 4th, that is what, cnidoblast as defensive organs in the coelenterate, that is for the 10 markers. The source is like the cnidaria as defensive structures. The chapter will be obviously the invertebrate, okay. The related previous year questions are like concise note on nematocyst of coelenterate, okay. Then give an account of structure of cnidoblast and various types of nematocyst of hydra for 10 marks. Then they have asked about what is the cnidoblast, that is the defensive structure in the cnidaria. Okay, and they wanted to know about their mechanism. Okay, then nematocyst of Aurelia. Nematocyst is structural and functional. Then again cnidoblast. Okay, then again the nematocyst. Okay, and it is how it's going to be different. They have asked these related questions. Okay, related with these particular questions, so you will get an idea that whether it is really asked or not. At the same time, we will also check that, see, this is the question which is asked in the 2022. So I have today, why it took a longer time, because I have also added the questions of IFS as well as CSE into these PYQs. Okay, so if the question is asked in the last year 2021, we will also get to know that whether the question has been repeated or not. Okay, that is going to be again another the advantage of this particular type of analysis. Okay, so हमें ये भी पता चलेगा कि last year के question आते हैं या नहीं. Okay, many of the students say, sir, the questions which came, one of the myth is that the questions which came into the last year will not be come into this year, so we will eliminate all the questions which have asked in the last year. Okay, this is also one of the myths which many students have. Okay, some of them have actually told me that also, so at that time I came to know that yes, students also think like that, right? But that is not the case. We will see today why it is, right? So this is the fourth question. Now, whether the content on that particular point was there or not, see, it is I have again given page number 65, page number 66, the notes of invertebrate. Okay, invertebrates ka notes hai, right? I have given them along with the they have asked about the hydras types na. So this is the hydra and these are different types. So almost everything is there till now in the notes. Whatever asked in the exam, it is there here along with the content. Okay, if it is not there, if agar ye nahi hota, if it would have not been there, though I would have not been able to show these images. Okay, see, even if I have already have an what we can say, the entirely public or open platform of these 8,000 zoology students. Okay, where anyone can raise their queries, where anyone can raise their dissatisfactions. Okay, still some of the students doubt whether I'm really going to deliver the notes to them or not. Okay, they want me to first deliver the notes to them, then they want themselves to pay after that. Okay, uske baad wo pay karenge, they will pay me after that, after receiving the notes. Okay, see, as I have already told you, we know the cost of these zoology notes in the market currently. Okay, last year it was more than 10,000 also. Okay, and some of the students show me the cost of that pirated or that this copyright, these pirated versions of the evolution notes which are available at the 1,500. Okay, so don't buy it. These are not genuine one. If you want to buy a genuine notes of evolution, please directly call the evolution classes. They will provide you with the genuine notes. Okay, whatever the notes which you are looking at in the this Google and other these sites, okay, which are available at 1200, 1600, 1800, these are all the old versions of these evolution material. Okay, which is not worth. Okay, if you really want their material, obviously you should call them directly, not to these pirated versions, right? So this is the content which is already यहाँ पर Snido site. All the whatever the requirements are there, it is given in these 2 pages. So you can definitely write 2 pages at least from this. Okay. So these were the compulsory 4 questions. The last question is like, what is the evolutionary status of Spinodon? The question has been taken from the status of Spinodon, which is there in the Chordata chapter. Okay. And the related previous year questions, first, these are from the civil service exam, CSE. So they have asked about the status of Spinodon, the same question for 20 markers. Spinodon is most primitive and crocodilian are of all these living reptiles. That was for 15 marks. Compare the skull of Rhynchocephalia with the crocodile. So maybe this is not there. So this status of Spinodon again for 10 marks. Then again they have asked about this related with the somewhat related with the this Spinodon. This is related with the Rhynchocephalia. Then they have asked about the affinities and peculiarities with the Spinodon for 10 marks. Then they want to discuss role of Rhynchocephalia. Here again Spinodons. This Spinodon is the most primitive and crocodilian are the most these what we can say the advanced of all living reptiles. So these are what you can say integrated questions. Okay, not directly related with only Spinodon. Okay, then they have asked about the Spinodon is considered as a living fossil, and the last is discussed that Spinodon is the most primitive and crocodile is the most advanced of all living reptilians, right? So you can consider here this question is for 2020 CSE. Okay, and here the question which is there in this 2020 IFS. Okay, I will just rub the annotations so you can this read it, right? So here you can read this question. Okay, even this 2016 IFS question also, most advanced of all living reptiles, most advanced of all living reptiles, and even this question also. These are questions which are somewhat similar only. Okay, so whenever you are giving the CSE mains, okay, that can also be helpful. The CSE mains paper can also be helpful in your CSE, in your IFS mains also, or IFOS mains also. Don't consider that the IFOS mains will be only 2 or 3 months after the CSE, so the questions which will come into the CSE will not come into the IFOS. Okay, aisa nahi hai. You should go through entire question paper of the CSE. Okay, at least even 1 or 2 questions also come directly. That is also going to be an advantage, direct advantage to you. Okay, so whoever students are giving this year's IFOS main, they should also go through all the CSE mains also, okay, papers, if they are specifically attempting only IFOS. Okay, otherwise mostly students are also apply for the CSE as well as IFOS also. Okay, so these are these related with the previous year questions. So we can know in the last year there was no any question related with the Spinodon. Okay, but in the 2020 it was there. So this is again the alternate strategy is also there. Many of the questions are asked alternatively, okay, in the CSE. So whether the content was there in my notes or not. So these are the status of Spinodon, entire note depending on that particular point. Okay, see why many of the students also ask me, sir, why don't you give the solved compilation of the last previous year questions, last 5 years or 10 years. Okay, see whenever I'm this is happening, why almost every question which is asked in the question paper is there in my notes. Why is it so? The reason is whatever the notes which I make for any particular point, first of all the first slide of every lecture is what? Those who are my students, they know the previous year question slides, right? And then only we make a note on that particular point. So what happens actually is that whenever we see any previous year question paper or whenever we see any question, it will not happen. Okay, not only this time, it will not happen anytime soon. Okay, that the content will not be in that notes. Okay, because every possible question on that particular point we dealt with all that particular this answer. Okay, or all that probable the possible question we deal with that notes in, we deal with that particular question in that note only. Okay, whatever the note which I give you, right? And those who want to go for only last 5 years or last 10 years of compilation, see your score, if your aim is to score like 200 or 230 or 220 na, then only you can go with that strategy for going last 5 years or last 10 years of question papers. Okay, but I think if you are attempting or if you are aiming for this score, this is not going to help you at all. Anyway, this is not going to give you any selection also. If you score more than 300, then most probability is that your name will be there in the final merit list, right? And to score more than this 300 plus or even 350 plus, it is not going to come by going through last 5 years or last 10 years of question paper. हर चीज के लिए मेहनत ही जरूरी है. There is no shortcut for it. Okay, so if you want to score that, go to every point of the syllabus. Okay, and see previously it was difficult because you will have to go through each and every point, then you will have to collect the notes. Even if you have notes, many of the points are not there in that notes. But I have actually already given you such kind of notes which are along with the detailed index also. So I have also taken care that whatever the questions which were asked previously in the last 20 years should come in that notes, and even 1 to 5% or if are not there in that notes, I'm also going to give you that also in the November or December as a supplementary material, right? So now your task and your time is already saved. You just have to go through these notes only. Okay, see, these are the evidences and these are the proofs in front of you. Okay, if you are not going to utilize this opportunity, and if you have decided to go through, if you have decided to go through all these reference books and all this referring all the different materials and different textbooks, you should just calculate the amount of time which you will require for that. Okay, just give 1 month entirely for a particular point and then analyze that how much of the syllabus you have actually compiled and whether that notes are really sufficient or not. Okay, then you will understand whether you see, you should only go with the textbooks and other things if you are doing this while your graduation. This is what I recommend. Okay, if you are trying to go, or if you are trying to studying after your graduation, then at least you should have complete year for this zoology. Okay, then these are the two conditions. If you can give 1 year, then it's okay, then you can go with the textbook. Obviously 1 year, that does not mean and that particular year you will only do zoology. Okay, along with the other parts also, but most of the time or majority of your time of that particular 1 year should go for the zoology. Okay, then you will be able to compile these kind of notes. Okay, I have already shared a note on molecular drive with you. Without looking at that particular notes, try on your own that whether you are able to collect that kind of notes or not. Okay, then you will understand it, because this is very much important here in the UPSC. Many of the students also try to go only for nahi reference books se hi jate hai, textbooks se jate. No, I will go only with the reference books and textbooks only. Okay, see, this is not, here you are not doing PhD. Okay, your only aim here, it should be that you will be able to understand that particular, whatever the points which are there in the question paper, and you will be able to write in it. Okay, in that zoology. This is not a subject like the other personality test nahi hai wahan par. Okay, here whatever the content is there, it is going to be analyzed. Okay, you cannot write any other apart from this. Okay, you will have to remember different points which are over here. Okay, so if you have such a compilation already with you, just try to memorize it only, just revise it multiple times. Okay, but although that will depend on these different persons, right? Many of the students are not at all these, what we can say, these used to or comfortable with the notes format. Okay, they want to make their own notes. Okay, so even if those who want to make their own notes, okay, I'm going to take a separate session in these 1 or 2 weeks, whether it will become more easier for those students who are, and along with the references also. Okay, along with the direct references. Okay, so I will not give you the this, what we can say, entire list of all these books, like 30 or 40 books. I will say that this particular part of the syllabus you should read from this book only. Okay, I will also make that part also easy, but those who are going with these notes should stick with this, because this is definitely going to save your time. This additional time you can use for your general knowledge preparation, for your current affairs, and revising your GS. Okay, now let's see, just a minute. So this was the content which was already there on my notes pinned on. So yes, you are able to write the answer from that. Next is that now this lecture is going to be a big, okay, because we are going to discuss the entire question paper here, right? Entire paper 1. So the first question is like, explain the asexual and sexual modes of reproduction in the Paramecium. Question is for 20 marks, taken from this Paramecium source. Obviously the chapter is the invertebrates. In the CSE, they have asked about like the diagrammatic representation of the stages of conjugation and the Paramecium, and comment on autogamy for 15 marks. Then again, this was the related with the locomotion, right? But here, conjugation in Paramecium again, autogamy in the Paramecium, significance of conjugation in Paramecium. These are the question in the IFS now. Okay, no question in the last year. So, but not even the 2020 also, right? So here the question, the process of conjugation. Here again, the digestion and excretion are, so this is not related with the these, what you can say, reproduction. Okay, so we have seen these type of questions which are there, which are related with these asexual and sexual modes of reproduction of the Paramecium. Okay, so we have seen the previous year question also. No question has been asked related with this in the last 2 years. Now whether it is there in my notes, the page number from 34 to 38. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 5 pages are there. You will have to write it within almost 4 pages. 20 marks, 4 pages. Obviously, you will going to write. These are all the diagrams also there. The binary fission is there. The conjugation is there. Autogamy is there. Okay, endomixis is there. The cytogamy is there. These are the sexual reproduction is there. Here the asexual reproduction is given, right? So everything which is asked in the exam, you have this content. Only 5 plus. You don't need to refer any other thing. आपको सिर्फ इतना करना है, then you will have to rest assured. Right, 190 pages notes of invertebrates is there. Maybe most of the students will read like on an average 15 to 20 pages a day. If you read it within like suppose 10 days also, so within 10 days almost every question from the invertebrates will be complete, and by going that notes it is also almost 100% surety that you will not miss a single question. Okay, only by doing 20 pages per day. And these kind of 20 pages per day are not that much big deal. Okay, so I know I have also already gone through these kind of reading, so I already know that how much amount of pages we can read per day. Okay, so within 10 days we can complete the entire invertebrate. Okay, and by saying entire, that means what is the level of my confidence? It is almost 100%. Why? You will get to know from this lecture only. Okay, whatever the questions which are there in the invertebrates, whether they are there in the notes or not. If you find all of them in that notes, then the whatever my confidence is there, that is true. Okay, so these were the notes from that. So it is already there. You can write it from it. Next, the question is for the 15 marks. The question is like main features of egg-laying, pouched, and aquatic mammals. Right. So it is taken from this particular point, named by these general features of egg-laying, pouched, and aquatic mammals, obviously from the chapter the Caudata. Then the related questions are like in the CSE they have asked about the monotremata, then these what you can say, the prototherians, the egg-laying mammals. Okay, the prototheria, then again this egg-laying mammals, the prototheria. So these are somewhat related questions with this. Out of this, the one question which was asked in the last year, describe the silent features of the prototheria and different from how they are different from the metatheria. So somewhat similar question was there, although direct question was not asked in the last year, right? So this was from the the second question B. It is for 15 marks. Now let's see whether. Now again there are some other these as the different parts are there, the pouch mammals, the aquatic mammals. So other previous year questions. Now the questions on the pouched mammals were asked only in the CSE, like describe the distribution, structural peculiarities of these metatherians. Okay, then metatheria and their geographical distribution. Then what are these different these egg-laying, these pouched and freshwater the mammals are there. In the case of these aquatic mammals, they have asked about the what are these cetaceans, what are these aquatic mammals are there, and what are the freshwater or the fishes to live in marshes, what they adapt. Okay, then they again what a note on primate, which is the another part, right? So these are the previous year questions which are related with that, right? So whether any question was there in the 2021? No, direct question was not there. Only one question was there which was somewhat this related with this. Now let's see whether the content on that particular part was there in my notes or not. Page number 93 to 101. Okay, now as we have a public group, so those who already have notes, they can raise a finger over there, right? They can make at least say this thumbs up, right? Because this is really true. You are getting the things which are in their notes, they are actually getting asked in the exam. Okay, so all these notes like writing from 93. Okay, so this is the egg-laying mammals, this is the pouched mammals, this is the aquatic mammals, along with the different diagrams. One of the students who have given mains this year, okay, he has said the, I think the name initial he was saying, okay, that the making the diagrams is the simplified diagram which you can draw in the mains is very much important. I have drawn almost more than 1200 diagrams from myself, which you are having in your notes, right? So these are the diagrams, simplified diagram, which I have made for you, I have given for you. Okay, now because of the simplified diagram, now it will be easy for you to draw these in the exam. okay, because these are not 3D here, 3D diagrams nahi hai yahan par, 2D diagrams hai. Okay, so you can directly copy them and try to draw them as such, right? So content was already there in the notes. Okay, so till now we haven't found a question which is out of our notes. That's a good thing for at least now. Okay, अब यहाँ पे आगे जाके कुछ 20-30% questions आ भी सकते हैं, right? So maybe 60-70% questions can only be asked from our notes. Okay, but let's see whether it is really there or not. That is the thing which we want to see, na? That is the enthusiasm which the students have. That is the question which the students have, whether the notes are really worth or not. Okay, because no one believes that within that particular set of notes everything is there. Okay, no one believes that only within 140 pages of cell biology notes everything will be only from that particular 140 pages only. Okay, now many students will also see, sir, how you are saying only 140 pages, only 190 pages, only 1200 pages. 1200 pages are there. But remember, for an optional like any other optional, like for history, geography, or any other option also, you at least read 2 to 3 books which are almost 5 to 600 pages are there. Okay, at least. So the combined pages will be far more than these notes which are there, at least thrice. Okay, so that is the thing. Even if you are saying these 1200 pages, but these are actual 1200 pages only. Okay, these are actual notes only, right? And this is again one thing that you will say, sir, 1200 pages notes are there, so we will have to remember 1200 out of 1200. Okay, no. See, that is what I have said. For, as we have seen, for a 10 marker question, we have at least 2 pages of content here, right? So the 2 pages of content of the notes will become at least 4 to 5 pages of the content of UPSC answer sheet. So even if you forgot some of the points which are in there, that notes, still you will be able to write the answer in that particular UPSC answer sheet, and you will still be able to fetch more marks. Okay, if you have attended my lecture, then I have told you, for every answer I give at least 7 to 8 points. Okay, I have already told you that out of that 7 to 8 points, even if you forgot 2 to 3, then also it will be okay. Okay, so that's why this is not the case that all the 1200 pages are going to be will be required to be memorized by you. Okay, I have also considered that only. Okay, so don't say like that, sir, you are saying only 1200 pages. These are really the least possible notes which you can have. Okay, and the concise one, right? So the question was, we have already seen the content was there. Okay, till now we haven't found a single question which was not there in the notes. The second question, C, for 15 marks was, what are the different types of scales in the fishes, and they want to explain with the suitable examples. The sources is the Pisces scales, and the source is obviously the chordata. The related previous year questions are like, no question was asked in the last 2020 also, 2021 also. So in the 1999 they have asked about like the, in 2002 they have asked about the scales of fishes. Then they have in the 2006 same questions, scales of fish, and again scales of fishes, right? So the almost similar questions were there, right? So now these were whether the content was there in my notes are there or not. Chordata के notes में content है या नहीं? 290 pages of notes are there of the chordata. Well, whether it is worth or not, लिया है पर वर्थ है या नहीं, उसमें से कंटेंट आ रहा है कि नहीं? सर ने दिया तो है 290 पेजेस का, उससे आया नहीं तो क्या करे? इससे तो सबसे अच्छा है कि हम खुद से नोट्स रेफरेंस बुक बनाए, टेक्स्ट बुक बनाए और उससे पढ़े. ओके, सर से इसमें आया तो नहीं, क्या हुआ? सर को हुआ ही कब से, स्टार्ट करके 1.5 साल तो हुआ है सर को. यहाँ पर इतने सारे बड़े बड़े क्लासेस है हमारे पास, उनके नोट्स लेकर रीड हो जाए. ओके, इन्होंने ना ही मेंस दी है कभी सर ने, राइट? कुछ स्टूडेंट ये भी बोलते हैं, सर आपने मेंस नहीं दी फिर भी कैसे पढ़ाते हो जूलॉजी? ओके, मैंने पहले ही बोल दिया, आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, आई हैवंट क्वालिफाइड मेंस, आई हैवंट गिवन मेंस, आई हैवंट क्वालिफाइड प्रीलिम्स CSE. I have given these 2 of my attempts, then I have shifted to the teaching field. I am teaching you UPSC zoology because I consider myself that I can teach good zoology. That is what is important for me. Okay, because whatever the required to be an assistant professor, I already have a NET with me. Okay, a GATE with me also, right? MTech with me also. So I think to be a professor, whatever it is required, I already have that qualification, right? So, and whatever these things you are looking at, okay, these are again the proof of it, that whether I can really teach you the UPSC zoology or not. Okay, UPSC zoology is not the thing that UPSC zoology is something different and this MSc and BSc zoology is the different. Okay, entirely This is not the case. Both are the same thing. Only you need someone which or who can teach you zoology. Okay. See, those who have qualified or those who are influenced by these qualified students, they say that only qualified students say, "Yeah, padho, they can only teach you." See, those who are going to get qualified, they are going to get posted. They are not going to give you any time for making such notes. ऐसे notes बनाने के लिए कोई भी time नहीं देगा आपको. वो they will be serving as an IAS and IFS officer. Okay, they will give these notes to their these relative only, siblings only. उनको ही देंगे, आपको नहीं देगा कोई. मैंने दिए हैं. Okay, I have given you, and it is coming into the actual exam. Okay, so let's see whether it is 70% of the questions are coming from that notes or how much. Okay, so this is the content on the this particular point. Pisces scales, page number 40, page number 41. Nothing is hidden, everything is there on screen. So along with the diagrams also, right? Next question, third A, again for 20 marks. Explain habitats, general features of life cycle of the Wucheria, right? This is the source, Nematohelminths Wucheria, from the invertebrate notes. The related previous year questions are like in 2010. All the questions are there in the CSC only. Like the what are the hosts in the Wucheria bankruptcy, stages of life cycle, what is the filariasis, okay, what are the pathogens, what is the parasitism, what is the Wucheria bankruptcy. So again, Wucheria bankruptcy, note on its pathogenicity, what is the elephantiasis. These are the different questions which were asked earlier. No question on the last 2020 also, and 2020 was also not in the CSE and not also in the IFS, right? Now whether the content was there in my notes or not, let's see. This is the diagrams. This is the Wucheria, page number 98, 99, 100. These are the diagrams of it, different diagrams. Okay, this is the life cycles diagram, right? This is the juvenile forms diagram. This is the Wucheria females, this worms diagram. Okay, on the related, all the whatever the related content is there, filariasis, elephantiasis, all the whatever the related contents are there, these are there in the notes only. Till now, not a single question which is out of the syllabus. Okay, जो notes दिए हुए उससे ही आ रहा है, ठीक है? So should we move on? For 1 second, I will just look at the YouTube session. Okay, so okay, it is working fine na? Questions also. Today is also the time, or today. Okay, so let's see. Next one is the third B. It is for the 15 marks. Describe the different types of canal system in the porifera. Also mention their functions. So let's see, these are the sources and the chapters. So the previous questions are like in the 2021 canal system in sponges. 2021 maybe hai, or this year is also there. Okay, so this is the again the myth is going to be busted. Okay, those who think that the last year questions are not going to be asked in this year's, so this is going to be the example that it is not the case. Even the last year's question can also come this year also, right? So the canal system in sponges. Okay, then again porifera question, canal system, then again canal system in porifera. So the somewhat similar questions are there only, right? All are there for almost 20 marks, 5 marks or 15 marks and 10 marks. So these are the questions from the IFS. These are the questions from the CSE. Last year 2020 or 2021 IFS, they haven't asked about this sponges canal system, but in the 2021 CSE they have asked about it, right? So that's why the last year questions are also important, right? Sorry. Now let's see whether the content was there in my notes or not. It was there along with the diagrams. Okay, Ascon type, Psychon type, leuconaut type, and whatever the grades in the leuconaut type are there. All the content are there. Page number 55, 56, 57. We have it, right? We have it. Next is the third C. Draw a suitable diagram and explain the structure of the human eye, right? So this is the part from the core data. Okay, the related previous year questions are like, see, 2021 they have asked about well-level diagram of avian brain. Sorry, not is in this part. Describe the structure and functions of internal ear in the mammals. So So this was actually not related with the eye, okay, but some of these questions which are like the section of the human eye, okay, in the 2011. Then in 2017 they are asked about what are the three layers of the vision in the humans are there of the eye, okay. Then in the IFES 2003 they have asked about the structure and working of the mammalian eye, okay. Then again vertebrates eye is asked in the 2019 IFS, okay. So these are the somewhat related previous year questions are there, okay. Now whether the content was there in the notes or not, so it was there in the corridor notes right from the 250 pages to 255. So you have almost whatever all the details which will be required, like the structure of the detailed structure of the human eye, okay, different the muscles required for it. So these are different the retinal layers are there, retinal layers are different of the structures, okay. So the structures of the rods and the cones also, okay, their functioning also, right. All the content was there, okay. But here the question is asking us specifically what? Structure of human eye, okay. In the notes you will also have the content on the function also or mechanism also. So specifically you will have to select those parts which are related with the structure only, okay, and then that is going to be written in the exam, okay. Function wale part, mechanism, whatever the part which related with the function or the mechanism are there, you can eliminate some of them, okay, because you will have to accommodate the entire answer in that particular 4 pages na. So if the UPSC is asking you structure, then we will give most of the points on structure also, okay. We will give very less points related with the mechanism and the function, okay. Next question is for 4A, that is for the 20 marks. So let's see which it is the origin as well as adaptive radiation in the case of reptiles, okay. It is taken from the chordata and the evolution, some part can be taken from evolution. This is somewhat correlated part, okay. It correlates with the other chapter, okay, जो कि second paper से भी थोड़ा correlate होता है, okay. So like the origin of reptiles, mechanism of action, right. Then is origin of reptiles here. They have asked in the 2002 CSC. Fossil reptiles in the 1999, right. So these were the somewhat related questions which are related with this. थोड़ा बहुत उनसे relation है in questions का, right. This question has also its relation with the second paper's evolution also somewhat, okay. Because why it is so? Because whatever this adaptive radiation which is asked na, this part adaptive radiation, this is given in the second paper's notes, okay. So this is the notes, okay, adaptive radiation in the reptiles. So this is the note of this evolution के notes में मैंने, till now you don't have the evolution notes with you because right now I'm completing it, right. So you will get it within the 7 to 8 days, right. So this is what the part which is there in the paper 2, okay. So that's why I have taken the evolution as an also plus, okay, this plus evolution sum of the part, right. So origin of reptiles, whatever the first part of the question was there ना, ये जो पहला part था question का, this origin, okay, based on it. So this is the content, origin of reptiles. These 2 pages are there. So we will have to write some part of it, and this adaptive radiation in the reptiles. So you will be able to write it. Almost everything is there till now in the question paper, which are also there in the notes. Next is the for 15 marks 4B. Describe the general structure of a mammalian tooth. They also want to classify this teeth based on this different shape and succession and attachment. So now let's see, it is taken from this part, that is the chordata. Previous year questions are whether any question was there in the last 2020 or 2021 was there. So it wasn't there in the last year, but they have asked different questions like the dentitions in the mammal, dentition in mammal, dentition in mammal, okay, same dentition in mammal, okay, mammalian teeth, dentition in mammals. So somewhat similar questions were also there. Now the content was there in my notes or not? It was there, 85, 86, 87 and almost 90 also there, okay, 85 to 90. So all the along with the diagrams they were given, okay, along with the diagrams all the dentition, tooth structure, classification has been given in that particular notes. So you will have it, okay. Next is about the 4C, habits, habitat and general features of herd mania and its development. So it was taken from the chordata notes. The previous year questions related with these are like these herd mania notes, okay, its account of reproduction. Then what are the developmental sequences and metamorphosis in the herd mania. Then what is the Herdmania is a primitive degenerate descendant, how to explain it. Then again give an illustrated account of phenomenon in this particular metamorphosis in the Herdmania. Then what is the how the Herdmania is a primitive and degenerative descendant of the ancestral chordate. So these are some of the related questions with this particular point. Now whether the content was there in my notes or not, yes, it was there. Again I got saved 21 25 there. Okay, so features and life history of Herdmania is there, along with the some of the diagrams which are required. Okay, from 21 pages to 25 pages, all the content was there in the notes, thankfully. If this would have not been there in the notes, the students would have said, sir आपका notes ले लिया, मुझे लिखने का तो कुछ भी नहीं आया, क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आया उसमें से, ठीक है. And also that will also happen. I'm not saying that everything will always be there in my notes. Okay, maybe in the case of, or maybe in the 1 to 5% cases, the questions may not be there in my notes. Okay, but that particular questions, okay, which is coming, okay, in your exam, whose answer is not there in my notes, it may also come into or also na, right? और में भी वो आ सकता है, और compulsory में भी आ सकता है. So if it comes into the compulsory, then बोल लो कुछ तो भी मुझे, ठीक है, एक दो गालियां भी दे लो कि सर आपकी वजह से मेरा एक कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन गया. ओके, बट यू शुड आल्सो रिमेंबर दैट if you have decided, okay, that I will go through a particular notes, that my notes, okay, then that is not the only advantage you have. Okay, by going through my notes, the another advantage you had is that you have saved lot of your time. The additional time you may utilize for your GS or current affair. Okay, so it is, even if maybe over 10 mark question you will not be able to answer, okay, but that 10 marks question is going to compensate with the other marks in the other subject also, because the time you have saved lot of time by going through these notes, right? Remember, but I will not let that happen. Okay, even the 10 marker one question also I will not let that happen. Okay, in the December we will settle all of these remaining 1 to 5% points in almost every chapter. So after that I would say that I have almost 200% coverage of entire syllabus, right? So but till now, still now, no question is out of that notes were there, right? So next question for 5A, now the compulsory questions are there. So what are the ecotones? Explain their examples. What is the edge effect? So it is taken from the ecology. So these are the different previous year questions are there. No question in the 2021 was there. So they have asked about the ecotone, borderline ecotone, ecotones and wetland ecotones. Okay, ecotones. This again, what are the ecotones? So the questions were asked on this particular point, right? Sorry. So see now why I have not shown the slide of my notes. Sir बोले कि सर आपके notes में नहीं था ये, इसलिए आपने नहीं दिखाया. You will say, sir, it was not there in the notes, so that's why you haven't shown. You have just directly move on to the next point. So that was not the case, because I have not given you the notes of ecology, ethology and economic zoology and evolution. So obviously it will not be there in my notes because I haven't made till now, right? So that's why we have moved on to the next point. So next question is, now this is again a very important point, right? That is a major subcentral tendency. Major subcentral tendency from the biostatistic. Previous year questions are the same. Major subcentral tendency, major subcentral tendency. Okay, any question was there in the last year? Yes, last year 2021 IFS they have asked about the mean mode. They haven't asked about the mean mode median though, but they have asked about the mean and mode. But all the major subcentral tendency, major subcentral tendency, major subcentral tendency questions were repeatedly asked on this. Okay, now I have given you I think only 100-page notes of this biostatistic, instrumentation method and the systematics combinedly. सिर्फ 100 पेज का notes दिया है, उससे भी question आ रहे हैं. Okay, I have given you only 100 pages of notes, and from that also the questions are coming. So it is only a thin notes of this number of pages. Okay, only a thin notes. Okay, otherwise for the biostatistic, instrumentation and systematic, you would have gone through at least 2 to 3 reference books of this much length. Okay, the biostatistics one page, one book of almost 500-600 pages. Instrumentations one book of maybe 500. I have said at least Most of I go through, for every point of the syllabus I go through more than 3 to 4 page number of books. Okay, I can show you with the this evidence. Okay, you can call me for any particular point, I will show you the different references. Okay, for physiology I think I have mostly referred AKGN. Okay, so that was the case, only 100 pages of notes is there, and the questions are coming from that only. Then imagine how much amount of time you have saved. Okay, those who will understand this na, they will only going to get benefited. Okay, and I know, as I have told you, that I am completing almost 2 years of my the batch. Okay, so obviously UPSC's result will not be going to become in 1 or 2 year. Okay, I will require at least 1 or 2 year more. Okay, but after that zoology will be amongst the most scoring subject. Okay, because of this notes only, right? So I have already given measures of central tendency, mean, okay, then median, and here mode also, right? So all of them along with the diagram, along with the examples are also there. Simplified examples are there, not the difficult examples which are there in the exam or which are there in the books. These are the simplified examples which I have made for you. आपके लिए बनाए हुए simplified examples है, not the difficult ones which are there in the books. You go through the content which is there in the, I challenge you, you go through the content which is there in the book, then you will understand how difficult it is to simplify it. Okay, so let's see. Again we got saved. I have given you only 100 pages of note. Okay, and even the questions have come from that also. Okay, so 3 chapter. Okay, the 100 pages note for 3 chapters. That was a kind of a gamble for me, because I know that was not gamble, because I already know that almost everything will be there in that notes. Okay, see, this is the beauty. Okay, if you make a concise notes na, it will become only of 100 pages. If you have the concise notes, you will not require that bulky books, right? Obviously if you want to understand it thoroughly, you will have to go through reference books only. Okay, if you have time, if you are doing it with the while your graduation, and even after graduation you have time, you should go only with the textbooks only, not through my notes, because going through textbooks is again most important or best way to study, right? But while going through that, don't just go randomly purchasing the books. You can ask me, because I have already gone through it, so I will give you the direct references for these books. Okay, and I will directly give you the along with the page numbers also, so that you can save your time. Okay, so next question is the 5C, that is the describe principal working mechanism of applications of gel electrophoresis, taken from instrumentation. Again a gamble. 100 pages के notes में instrumentation methods के pages बताता हूँ मैं. Okay, I will just tell you the number of pages of the instrumentation notes. Okay, then we will able to come to know about that. Okay, कितने pages का notes था मैं बताता हूँ आपको. ठीक है, so this is it. Okay, so biostatistics. Now whether this is going to be focused on my mobile or not, I don't know. अभी 1 लाख रुपए का कैमरा है तो फोकस तो होना चाहिए, पर नहीं हो रहा है. ठीक है, but I will tell you. Biostatistics notes are from page number 8 to page number 47. 40 pages of notes of biostatistics. 40 pages में भी क्वेश्चन आ गया. Instrumentation method, the notes are from 48 to 76. 48, 58, 60, 76. 30 pages of notes only. From that also the question has been already asked. Direct question. The systematic note is only of I think 10 pages only. Actually there is one point has been given, that is the biodiversity, which we are going to this complete along with the ecology. Okay, so let's see. Again we are satisfied. I have given you only 30 pages of note of instrumentation, and that from that also the question has already been asked. Previously they have asked about the gel electrophoresis. Now whether you are saying it was asked, but whether it was there in my notes or not. Gel electrophoresis along with the diagram. Content is there. You wanted to write it is for 10 marks na. So you can write UPSC answer sheet के 2 pages तो इससे आराम से हो जाएगा content आपका, because you have drawing here diagram also. Diagram is again simplified. and all the points are there in it. The principle, instrumentation and its working, determination of the DNA, the application, the characterization and detection, the amplification of the analysis. All the notes are made in the form of points. So it is not given in the form of essay. Essay के form में नहीं दिया वो answer, simplified form में है, right? So again we got saved. Almost everything was there in the notes till now. The next question, conditioned learning in the animals, asked from the ethology. So these are the different previous year questions. Last year they have asked about the learning in the memory of the mammals. So learning in mammals. What is the instinct and learning in mammals, animals? What are the instinct and animal? The learning is there. Learning, instinct and habituation of animals are there, right? So these are some of related questions were there. सर नेक्स्ट स्लाइड क्यों ली? दिखाओ आपके नोट्स में है या नहीं? नहीं है इसलिए आपने नया क्वेश्चन लिया है ना? नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है. अगेन ethology notes are again not given by me, so that's why I have not shown you any slide, right? The sixth question was Klinefelter syndrome and the Turner syndrome, taken from the genetics. So 2005 and 2008 they have asked about these syndromes. Klinefelter syndrome, page number 40. Turner syndrome, page number 41. It was for 10 marks. So one page for this Klinefelter syndrome, one page for Turner syndrome. Along with the diagram you will be able to write. Then our notes are again sufficient to answer this question. I again got saved. अब तक के लिए तो ठीक है. आगे अगर 20-30% क्वेश्चन आ गए तो सिर्फ 70% ही यूज रहेगा मेरे नोट्स का, ठीक है? तो बहुत से लोगों को बुरा भी लगेगा कि सर के नोट्स क्यों फॉलो किया मैंने, ठीक है? लेट्स सी वैसा होता है या नहीं. ओके, कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा ना. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा ही ना. मैं ऐसे कैसे कि मैं नोट्स दूंगा उससे ही सब आएगा, ऐसा भी नहीं होगा ना. कुछ ना कुछ तो क्वेश्चन होंगे. सो लेट्स सी विचार. 6 A questions are there. 20 marker question is there. Describe various types of social groupings in the primates. Write importance of the social grouping. It has been taken from the ethology. So related questions are like the social hierarchy in primates, same social hierarchy in the insects, in the social groupings, social hierarchy. So somewhat similar related questions were there. Okay, so it was not entirely a new question was there. Okay, it is not the case. Then again I have moved on to the next slide. Obviously I have not given you the notes on ethology, so that's fine. Next question is differentiate between the primary and secondary pollutants, taken from the ecology. This question was asked for like air pollutants once and secondary and primary pollutants once. All of these two questions were asked in the IFS, right? So it was asked in the CSE till now. So I haven't given you the notes of ecology till now. Okay, 1.5 years. Okay, more than 1.5 years. Still I haven't given you the notes. Why? The reason is this only. Whatever the notes which I am giving you, even if it is taking time, but you are having such a notes that no question will be asked out of that notes. Okay, so if you want to make it such an compilation, such an perfect compilation, obviously it will require time, right? Till now we have been able to do it. Okay, ab tak ka sab every question was there in the notes, right? So now let's see the next part. That is the 6B. Second part is there. It is taken from the ecology. What are the wastewater treatment options are there? But actually no direct question was asked related with this till now. Okay, these are some of the related questions which are related with the water degradation, water pollution. But wastewater treatment, see, actually I am a green technologist because I have done MTech in environmental science. That is the environment, that is green technology in the ICT Mumbai, right? So I know many things about wastewater treatment plus in the this Chembur, Mumbai. Okay, that was a planter of Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers, that is the RCF. There I have actually visited this plant where they were treating this wastewater, right? So if possible, if I found those images, I will show you those images also. If not, I will borrow it from some of my friends, okay, to show you, or from internet. Okay, internet to hai, right? So no direct question related with this. So maybe some of the students would have find it difficult to answer this particular question, right? And अगर मैंने आपको नोट्स दिए होते, इफ आई वुड हैव गिवन यू द नोट्स ऑन इकोलॉजी, मे बी दिस कुड बी वन ऑफ दोज क्वेश्चन which would have not been there in my notes, because wastewater treatment somewhat not direct point was there, so maybe or may not be there. Okay, so who knows, when I will make the notes on ecology, maybe that particular point will come under some another topic, right? Now let's move on to the next part, that is the what is the chi-square analysis. Explain its applications in biology for 15 marks taken from the biostatistics. Again 40 pages of biostatistics only, 40. Okay, in that also it is already been asked in this much of number of year, chi-square, 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 right? So it is already been asked, but whether out of those only 40 pages of notes of my notes, whether it was really there or not, it was there. Thankfully I again got saved chi-square, page number 60, no, page number 40 to 44, along with the examples. chi-square test has been given. 40 पेज ही पढ़ने का, दूसरा कुछ नहीं पढ़ने का. Okay, only read these number of 40 pages, biostatistics will be finished, right? Next is 7th A, 20 mark question is there. Explain the biodiversity, means of conservation in the biodiversity taken from the ecology chapter. So these were the different questions which were asked. Okay, in last year in CSE they have asked about the biodiversity hotspots, which are somewhat related with this particular question, right? But otherwise the notes, the questions on biodiversity has already been asked, like the explain the biodiversity studies, what is the biodiversity, what is mean by biodiversity. Okay, so ecology notes are not given, so the slides are not going to be there. So 7B question, basic laws of learning, habituation, trial, error learning, latent learning. Okay, it is taken from the ethology. So these are the different questions. In the 2021 they have asked about the process of learning and memory in the case of animals, right? So these are the somewhat related with the learning only, like what is the learning in animals, what is the instinct and learning, what is the learning and instinct, what is the learning instinct in animals, right? Somewhat related with the this learning question, right? Directly again, ethology notes are not given, so we will move on to the next point, that is the principle, working and mechanism of PCR. Again 30 pages of notes of instrumentation only, whether the content on this will be there in that notes or not. Okay, सर का सुन के मैंने नोट्स तो मंगा लिया, सर ने सिर्फ 30 पेजेस ऑफ इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन के नोट दे दिए. I have heard about sir's notes and I have purchased it. Okay, sir have given only 30 pages of notes on instrumentation, so right now I feel that I will not be able to answer from these notes. Okay, 30 pages of note, how it will be sufficient, right? But let's see, actually we have this trusted the sir, so देखा जाएगा जो होता है. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, before that the questions on PCR were already been asked. Okay, but the content was also there in my notes also. Again we got saved. Again PCR, polymerase chain reaction, 2 pages of content along with the diagram. It is for how many marks? 15 marks. Okay, so 3 pages तो आराम से लिख सकते. You can write 3 pages of answer from this. Okay, and see again, as this is my first edition of my notes, now obviously when the second batch will be there, all of these notes are going to get more and more crisp and more concise and more enriched with the knowledge. और भी अच्छे होंगे ये. Okay, but still in the first edition also we are getting everything in their notes. Till now at least we are almost up to the last part, okay, of the entire question paper, right? So you can write it from there, page number 71 to 72 of the instrumentation notes, right? Next is 8th 20 marks question is there, that is what is the causative agent and means of spread of tuberculosis, describe the symptoms, diagnosis, treatment, preventive measures of tuberculosis, right? It was already asked in the 2003, 10, 12 and 17. Okay, TB. Okay, it is taken from the economic zoology. So when we will take the economic zoology, I have also done B farm. So TB वगैरह ऐसे डिसीज तो हमारे लिए कुछ भी नहीं है. ओके, बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से समझ में आएंगे ये. ठीक है, ऑल दी डिसीजेस. ठीक है, एमटेक से पहले मैंने बी फार्म किया था. Okay, many of the students wonder, sir, B.Pharm के बाद M.Tech कैसा किया? Okay, so in the IITs and the ICTs, okay, when you give the gate, I have qualified the gate. So after that, I had the I think all India score the 867 something, right? So with that, I could get some of these biomedical engineering or some of these lower branches from the IITs, or I could I was getting this ICT Mumbai, okay, in Maharashtra. So I selected ICT Mumbai, okay, over these some of the lower branches in the IITs, okay. Sometimes it feels like I should have selected IITs, okay, but when I went there and whatever I had from the ICT Mumbai, right now I feel that was the best decision which I have took, okay, to go into the ICT Mumbai. There I was guided by the Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav sir, okay, because of which I came into this field, okay, not to do job somewhere, but to create jobs somewhere to others, right? Whatever these, what you can say, the confidence is there, it has came from them, okay. I would have not got that in the IITs, okay. So this was the question. Industrial fixation of the nitrogen, okay. It is taken from the ecology. So these were the previous question related on the nitrogen cycle, okay. So the questions have already been asked on to the fixation of nitrogen, okay. Now the last is, what is the gene therapy, okay. With the suitable example, explain what is the germline types of somatic cell therapy is there. Again, this is going to be a point in the economic zoology. So when we will complete the economic zoology, at that time you will get the notes of it. So this has only asked once in the 2017, that too in the CSE, the genetic counseling and gene therapy, okay. Now these are the parts which we have completed today. The paper 1 entire complete analysis we have completed, okay. And if you look at the notes which I have given you till now, fortunately right now I will say that yes, 100% questions are there in my notes. If I have given you 30 pages of note on a particular point, you will have to read only those 30 pages only, okay. Now I can say with this guarantee. Now anyone who will call me and say, sir, whether your notes will be sufficient or not, they should first watch this lecture which will be available on the YouTube, okay. And even if after watching this lecture you are asking the same question, then what can be said to you, okay. Because see, these are the kind of opportunities also, okay. Because by referring these notes, obviously you are going to save your time, okay. And if you save your time, you can qualify in the prelims by giving additional time for your current affair, mains and GS preparation, right? So it's up to you whether you want to rely on the notes or not, okay. Even if you want to make your own notes from the textbook, I will advise you should contact me. I will give you the exact references so that you can save your time, because I already told you referring the notes is not the best way to study or learn, okay. The best way is to go through references books only, right? But you should have only proper guidance. Otherwise, for genetics only you have 4 to 5 books, for biochemistry also you have 4 to 5 books, okay. So which specific book should be used, okay, that you need to know, right? But see, in the group you ask, sir, give me a list of zoology. It will be a 40 to 50 books if you ask me for once, and I will not answer also. The reason is, it is going to be a huge collection of books, okay. So if you want, if you have query, ask me particular point, okay, sir, for polymerase chain reaction, from which particular book or from which particular source I should study, then I can tell you that yes, you can go with this book, okay. We should go with this SN publication books, okay, or with this SKNRN publication books, okay. I can tell you in that way. So with this, now we will stop here. I will take the second session on the paper 2 maybe after 4 to 5 days only, because this has exhausted me a lot, because I have to make these slides for an almost entire day, right? So now we will meet on to the next session with the analysis of paper 2 only. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.